If this is your first time, I'm Kyle.
And I'm Michelle, and we're the Wandering Shores.
So here we are today, September 8th, 2022. Exactly 2 years to the day that we hit the road full time, and we're back with another Talking Head video.
Yes.
It's been a long time. So we did one of these last year on this exact same day, and we thought we'd bring back that style video for another go round. So for those who may not have seen the video back in 2021, what we have done is we've outlined kind of our 10 favorites or 10 things about RV life. And one of the things that we've done this year is we're narrowing our choices to things that we have done since September 8th, 2021 to current. All right, sorry, we had to delay that a little second. The cats were making some noise. So one of the things we're going to try to do here is we're not going to do a whole lot of editing and cutting things out and piecing things together. We're just going to kind of go by the seat of our pants. So what we've got going on here, up above the camera here are our list of questions. And we're going to go through. We have not talked to each other previously about our answers. So I have no idea what Michelle's going to say, and she has no idea what I'm going to say. So we're going to get started. You ready? All right. Question number 1. Michelle, you answer this one. Your favorite paid campsite since September of 2021.
Yeah. So we only use paid campsites only when it's a necessity. So my favorite campground had me at 2 words: free breakfast and hot springs. And that was at the Bozeman Hot Springs Campground and RV Park. Loved it. I felt spoiled. Having those amenities, shower house, not having to cook breakfast the 3 days that we were there was fantastic. And it was my first time in a hot springs that was like contained in like pools, like swimming pool type deal. So yeah, that was my favorite from last year. What about you?
Well, for those of you who may be interested in that, we actually just released a video about maybe a week ago about the fact that we paid $95 a night for a campground. So you'll have to see why we did. It was a beautiful campground. But for me, as Michelle said, we don't pay a lot for campgrounds. So I opted with Falls Campground in Du Bois, Wyoming. We actually got a chance to stay there with our friends Frank and Lynn, who came up from California to visit, and our friends Norm and Sandy, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, at some point during this video as well. So that was just outside Grand Tetons National Park, and we stayed for about 7 days. Michelle and I had actually found a boondocking spot in closer to Grand Tetons, and the mosquitoes were atrocious.
Oh my.
So we ended up moving very quickly from there after 2 days with the intention of originally staying 2 weeks. So we ended up at Falls Creek Campground. The campground was nothing special. There was electric hookup, no water, no dump, but we got to hang out with Frank, Lynn, Norm, and Sandy, and go on several hikes while we were in the area. So that's my favorite favorite paid campsite since September of 2021.
That's right. The next thing on our list is our favorite free campsite, because we are dry campers, we boondock, we're all set up for doing things like that. So I'm going to let Kyle go first.
This was a pretty easy one for me. It was Taylor Park outside of Gunnison, Colorado. One of the most gorgeous campsites we've ever been to. One that we found out was not really on most of the camping sites. So I went out a day ahead of time and scouted it to make sure it was going to work well for us, and it did. And you know, periodically, probably through this video, we'll be inserting photos if we've got photos of the different answers to our questions, and I'm sure there's one here somewhere about Taylor Park.
Mine, I really liked it. Doesn't really have a name. It has like a street name, but when we left the Tetons, we had some time to to kind of just hang out before we headed into Yellowstone, and we stayed right in between Alpine, Wyoming and Irwin, Idaho. And the spot we were at had you kind of have to go down a little ditch. I mean, we were perfectly capable of getting down
it. It wasn't a ditch. It was a hill.
Yeah, it wasn't a ditch. So a hill, whatever. But it was right by a babbling brook, and I loved it. I didn't want to leave. I liked the sound of the babbling brook. I liked that when it got too hot, because there were some warm days while we were there. And so when the generator wasn't on and our air wasn't on, I just get in that brook and cool off, and it was convenient. It was right there. It was pretty. So yeah.
And that one only had a 5-day stay limit, or we probably would have stayed even longer. So
Yeah.
that was one of the limitations of that. But it gives people an opportunity to share it and don't have people kind of full-time camping in spots that are meant to be temporary. So next question, favorite hike? I got my list here. Michelle, you go first. No,
Okay.
You do.
My favorite hike was the Perimeter Trail in Ouray, Colorado. And this trail is kind of known as the Switzerland of America because it has views that kind of remind you of the Swiss Alps. So what's so neat about this trail is it has several entrances and exits so that you can make this trail as long as you want or as short as you want, and it's right close to town. So whenever you're done, you can go in, grab a bite to eat. But we chose to go all the way around the perimeter, and throughout parts of it, you could see from up above, you're looking down on the town, which was super cool. There were 4 waterfalls that we saw along the way, and this was a long trail. It just kept going and going and going. And what I remember most is that was the first time, I believe, that the Wandering Shores went live on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that was fun. So.
Yeah. Yep. I picked the same trail.
Yeah.
So that was pretty easy. We went on several great hikes this year. But yeah, that's by far my favorite. And we have a video of that one too, if you guys are interested.
Yeah.
All right. Michelle?
It ended up being 9 miles. Yeah, since we chose
and
to
close
go
to 2,000 feet of elevation gain. I think it was a challenging hike. You know, Norm and Sandy were with us on that hike, and I thought Norm was going to kill us because every time we go around a bend, there'd be another climb, and he was not having it. So, favorite national park? Go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, my favorite national park. Let me look at my list. Is Yellowstone National Park. It's just like you're on another planet. You see the geysers and you see the geothermal pools that you just don't see. You know, it's amazing to see it and learn about them. And what I remember most, it wasn't really even in the scenic areas in the park. We were just driving out. I think we were leaving the park, heading back to the campground. And I'm looking out my window and I'm like, oh, there's like a little pond. And all of a sudden I see it looked like this iridescent light, kind of like how hot tubs and swimming pools will have lights put in them. And then immediately to the right, I saw this part of that little pond bubbling. And I told Kyle right away, I said, oh my gosh, I thought I just saw a pond, but it's not. So it was just wild that you would just be driving down the road and you'd see that and you'd know that you wouldn't be able to put your foot in there.
My favorite was Grand Tetons. We're currently at 34 national parks, if I remember correctly. But Grand Teton this year was definitely one of my favorites. Here comes Marley to join us. Well,
no.
Maybe he's jumping down. So
He's camera shy.
yeah, we spent probably about a total of 2 weeks around the Grand Teton area and really loved that park. Did several of the hikes. Got a chance to hang out with a lot of our friends that we've met on the road and stuff too. So that was extra special. So, favorite kayaking, Michelle?
This one was a toss-up.
You got to narrow it down.
I know. One was pretty epic, but I didn't choose that one. I ended up choosing Emerald Cove. I think that was the name of it.
Uh-huh.
It was a kayaking excursion we went on with Rick and Teresa. But I don't remember, where were we?
Right inside north of Arizona or north of Parker in Arizona.
Okay, yeah. And we had seen another YouTuber that we follow show some video footage of it, and it just looked huge. Like you could go into this cave. And when we got there, Kyle here said, he kept saying, that's not it. That's not it. You're supposed to go in a lot farther. No, that was it. Pictures and video can be very deceiving. And so, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a nice little, kayaking trip, but it's very small and confined, but pretty.
For me, it was kayaking down the Colorado with a huge group of friends just north of or in through Parker, Arizona. There were probably, I think, 7 or 8 boats, and we were all kayaking together, and we would stop at one of the restaurants and we'd have lunch. And so it was a lot of fun. It wasn't very long. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 miles at most. But that was probably my favorite kayaking trip so far this year. We've had, I don't know, we've gone probably on 7 or 8 different kayaking outings this year. Not as many as I thought we'd go on, but we actually just went on one that we'll probably be putting a video up here outside of Glacier National Park, inside Glacier National Park on Bowman Lake. So that one was pretty epic too, and we got to do that with some friends we met through Instagram. So, your favorite town? You want to go?
I'll go first, sure.
Yes.
I actually don't have one.
What?
Yeah, I don't really. Oh wait, well, but this was prior to.
No, it
can't be prior.
Yeah.
All right, if you're going to put me on the spot, then I would say Crested Butte. We did spend an afternoon mountain biking there on a beautiful trail, just breathtaking mountains, rivers, wildflowers, you name it. And then we went into Crested Butte and had a nice lunch. So if I had to pick, it'd be that.
Yeah, I had actually forgot about Crested Butte. But I actually went with a much larger town of Yuma, Arizona. We spent 4 months down near Yuma in a boondocking spot on long-term visitor area and called Imperial Dam. And we got a chance to see my mom and dad, 3 or 4 times a week sometimes, because we were only 20 minutes away from them. So Yuma has everything you can need, especially during the winter. It's got beautiful weather, considering, it's December and January and February. It's in the 70s almost every day. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed Yuma. Favorite experience? Michelle, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Let me see what I have. Oh yeah, I knew I had it in my brain. For me, it's the Escapers Convergence in Tucson, Arizona. We got together in early March down in Tucson, obviously. And, basically it's a rally or get together of RV like-minded people. And what I liked, I think why it was kind of the best experience, is we met a ton of new people while we were there. Or some people we had generally met, but we got to spend a lot more time with them. So we met Norm and Sandy, who subsequently we traveled with for 4 to 5 months. After that, we met Chris and Kevin, who we're going to see this winter down in Arizona again. They are full-timers as well and are from originally Northern California. We got to hang out with Reagan and Coral, who had met very briefly on our kayaking trip in Parker, but got to spend a lot more time with them there in Tucson, and then subsequently traveled with them for, a month or 2 through much of Colorado. So that was my favorite event, just because it gave us an opportunity to meet a bunch of new people.
Yeah, and it was good timing too, because that was coming off the winter when we were stationary for 4 months in Arizona. So it was good timing.
Marley's playing around over here with the curtain. All right, what's your pick?
My favorite experience was actually an escapees hangout that was in the Tillamook Garibaldi, Oregon area.
On the coast.
It was the
Western
Oregon,
coast.
yeah, it was the Oregon Coast Hangout. And what I liked about it is it's not as big as the one that we went to that he spoke about in Tucson. But it's a lot smaller, like maybe 30 people, 30 couples.
Rigs, yeah.
Yeah, 30 couples or individuals. We were at a campground and we did activities together. We did a service project. We met our traveling friends, Rick and Teresa, there. So that's what started that friendship.
We're thinking about you.
But yeah, I liked the smallness of it because, it pretty much, it forced me to have to be a little more social than what what I might be normally. But one of the highlights was, and I'm all about food, is fish and chips. We had fish and chips probably 3 times that week, right, Rick? So yeah, fish and chips, and I think I've only had it 1 time since. So
next, favorite state, Michelle?
Favorite state, oh golly, that was another one I just can't decide on. I really liked Colorado.
This is why I make many of the decisions when it comes to where and what we're doing.
Well, we're only there for a short time. I like Colorado.
We're in Colorado for like 2 months.
Yeah, but I also liked Arizona, though. Arizona has so many different parts to it. So I guess I'll just go with Arizona.
I picked Colorado. We will be going back to Colorado at some point. There's a lot that we didn't see, and the parts that we did were gorgeous. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to going and exploring more of that state. So
yeah,
biggest surprise.
Especially the national park, because we only got to just a very
That's
teeny
Rocky
tiny
Mountain
part
she's
of
talking
it.
about.
Yeah.
Not Mesa Verde.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain National Park.
Yeah. But we went to Mesa Verde too.
Yeah, we did.
All right, biggest surprise.
Biggest surprise was when we were heading into the Tetons on the first day to go on a hike, and bison, for the first time. He had seen bison growing up, but this was my first time, and they were on both sides of the road. We were kind of coming up at them, and a couple of them went across the road, and then some others crossed the road. So that was a pretty exciting moment for me. But, and I am going to have to put 2 in here. To our surprise, we look on Facebook, and friends that we used to work out with posted that they were in Yellowstone.
Yep.
And we're like, oh my gosh, we're like in the same area. So they actually, they didn't plan it, but they drove down and spent a day in the Tetons, and we were able to meet up with them in Jackson Hole, which was awesome. So a shout out to Jen and Bill Baker.
And kids.
Yeah, and the kids and mother.
Yes.
And Bill's mother, yes.
So, biggest surprise for me actually has something to do with this right here. Hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We just hit it on August 30th. It's been just about 2 years, as you can imagine, since this is the 2-year video. We just hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube after many months thinking that there's no way we're ever going to get there. So we're excited. We appreciate it. If this is your first time watching, please subscribe. It means a lot to us. It's a goal that we kind of always set in our minds, but I think when we hit the road, I thought I'm going to put up 2 or 3 videos and we're going to go viral. That's not how it works. And then we took long periods of time, sometimes not doing videos, and so that didn't help the algorithm either. But yes, we hit 1,000, and we are slowly chugging away at the next goal, which will be 4,000 hours of view time over the last 12 months. Which, if we hit that in, that means we get monetized and we get a couple pennies on the view for advertising. So 1,000 subscribers doesn't mean anything, financially for us. It was more of just a personal goal. Now we're heading towards 4,000 hours of view time, if that's possible. And we'll see, and we'll let you know. Maybe by this time next year, we will have hit that benchmark as well.
Yeah.
Top favorite RV item. This one's easy.
You go first.
Starlink.
Oh, yeah.
It's changed everything. I mean, we got it in January. Many of you have probably seen videos that I've put out about it. I don't so much do them anymore because everybody's got videos and everybody's got Starlink. We're here outside Glacier and there's probably 10 people who have Starlink on their RV now, but it's probably opened up 10 to 15 boondocking spots that we never could have gone to in years past because they had absolutely no cell service. There's no cell service here really, and we couldn't camp here, for example, outside of Glacier on North Fork dispersed camping area. So easy one for me, Starlink.
Mine seems kind of boring, but I really like them. We have a rear slide, and several times Kyle just would walk right into it. You just walk around the camper when you're out doing stuff, and you forget that there's a slide out there. You think you're going around the end, and you don't look up. Well, we started with some wind socks that we hung from there, and then those kind of got tore up with the wind, and we got something a little more durable, and we have wind socks that are bright orange. They're kind of like the orange ones that blow horizontal, like at airports. Airfields, airports. So we have 2 of those on the back, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, they've saved me from hitting my head numerous times.
Yeah,
I'll insert a photo if I can find it of my head bleeding from the very first time I ran into the slide.
Or just the wind socks, not his bleeding head.
Well, either one.
But it really catches your eye, and you're like, oh yeah, I have to walk around so that I don't bump my head into the slide. And I'm guilty of it too, although I didn't have any blood or anything like that. But we also have orange cones that we use
You gotta pick one item.
Well, they kind of go hand in hand. The orange cones will either block and just signify to other campers that, you know, this area is blocked, or if it's in kind of a
we use them to save spaces for people when we know that we're going to get somewhere first and we want them to come join us.
Yeah, just as a way to block other campers from, you know, invading our
honestly,
space.
we don't use them a whole lot, but when we do, they're convenient.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
Now you get one thing. This is like the 3rd thing out of 7 or 8 that you've picked.
The
2.
one thing I miss from our sticks and bricks, it's probably going to be the same as last year. Because I think last year I said, I miss a bathtub. That's what I miss.
Oh, well, I didn't. I put the one thing I miss. I didn't see the from the house thing.
Oh, yeah, from sticks and bricks.
Oh.
That's okay.
I answered a different question.
Well, what was that?
Well, I picked the one thing we missed was all of our East Coast family and friends. Because
yes,
we haven't been out that way. Michelle flew home and spent 5 weeks in Indiana, so she got to see a lot of her family and friends around Indiana. But I haven't been back in obviously 2 years. So that's what I answered to this. As far as what I miss from the house, I don't know. Not a whole lot. I don't miss the mortgage. I don't miss all the payments. You know, so yeah.
Well, I miss being able to take a bath. But anyway.
I do miss a nice big regular paycheck coming in. Like we had from our two jobs before.
I second that.
We're surviving and doing well.
Yep.
All right, future plans.
Future plans. Well, as far as
this should be good, folks, because I don't think she could tell you where we're going next. Because I plan and she gets in the car and sits in the back with cats.
He is the brain behind this operation for sure.
It's my job to know things.
Yeah.
So what are our future plans, Michelle?
Well, I'm guessing that we will continue traveling. We're going to spend the winter in Arizona. And we have an Escapers big bash that we're going to go to this winter there
in January.
In January. Looking forward to that.
Lake Havasu, Arizona is where that one's going to be.
Yeah. And then...
Sorry about that, folks. The battery in the GoPro went dead. So, future plans. Let's get this real quick in here so we don't die again. So we are currently in northern Montana, outside Glacier National Park. We're going to be heading from here down to Missoula for a couple days to stay at a Boondocker's Welcome, and then we are on to Stanley, Idaho. After Stanley, Idaho, we may hit Ketchum, Idaho, and then we're going to start heading more south because it's starting to get cold. It's obviously beginning or the second week in September right now. We're going to spend some time in Utah. We're hoping to hit the one national park there we have not yet been to, which is Capitol Reef. And then we will go into Arizona, spend some time near Phoenix, and then down towards Yuma and Quartzsite and Lake Havasu and all of that. So we are super honored that you took the time to watch this today. We are super excited, and you know, when we hit the road, we kind of set a goal for 2 years to be on the road, and here we are at 2 years, and we're not coming off anytime soon. So thanks, Michelle. Any closing words?
Thank you for following us and watching our videos.
And helping us hit 1,000.
Yes, we love your support, and look forward to more of this, traveling and seeing more of you maybe, and just having more experiences.
So please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, which lots of you have. Hit the notification bell so you get buzzed or beeped and notified as soon as we put out a new video. And of course, hit the thumbs up. It helps the algorithm for YouTube and lets YouTube know that you like our videos, and we'll show them to more people. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.